Thank you for joining me in reviewing the last couple projects that I've been working on. This is specifically some sample practice pieces that I'm working on in preparation for a larger project that I hope to complete in 2024. The first project is the S Stumpwork. This was a gift for a friend of mine for her birthday, and I started with using wool batting to pad and shape the S. I filled in the entire S pretty much once I got done with the Bonnie shape off to the left there. You can see this is upside down, this image is. And then I worked the corners in a detached knotted triple buttonhole stitch. Each of the four corners is done in a cotton pearl. I really enjoyed making these because I did the two edges and then stuffed it and then finished the solid edge at the bottom on all four corners, and it just turned out perfect. Later on, I added pearls inside some of these just to give it a little bit of bling. The entire background is done in long threads, and I stitched them down kind of like an ornu style with a darker thread. This is not reverse couching. I had contemplated doing reverse couching, but then I changed my mind. I really like how this came out. I've actually had people ask me if this was a fabric, not filler stitch. So I get a kick out of questions like that. This is a close-up of Bonnie. She is done in the color pieces, she's done in cross stitch, and then in the flesh tones, she is done in a satin stitch. This image is the beginning of the Stumpwork stem I used for the flowers, and it is detached buttonhole lacework, and I did not calculate how large in circumference the stem would be compared to the smaller flower that I started with, so I went back later and I created a second flower using the same shapes, just bigger, and the second flower is a little bit below the smaller flower to give it a bigger impact. This is a close-up of the finished Stumpwork in the silver S. I used silver DMC thread metallics for this. It worked out okay. It didn't come out as smooth as I had wanted it to, and some of that is just the material I chose. It was a learning experience. These are all basically samplers for a larger picture. This is what it looked like prior to unmounting. So I put glue on the back side, and then I used archive paper on top of the glue. So it's like PVA glue with archive paper to protect the back of the work. And then I mounted the whole thing on foam board, which did not work how I thought it was going to work. And here I'm just kind of showing you how high the 3D looks. And because I didn't like how it looked, I actually edged the entire piece with some silver trim that I had. This is not me embroidering it. This is just purchased silver trim. You can see the little pearls in the corner of the lacework up top in some of these images. The shadow box is about a 1/2 inch deep, and I did not choose wisely. I should have chosen a deeper box because the depth of the flower was higher than I thought it was going to be. So it mashes up against the glass. This is a really nice close-up of some of the detailed stitching. And unfortunately, I don't have a final picture of the piece. This is the K Stumpwork project. Again, I am playing with different images. This is the K drawing I started with kind of some of the designs. I was going to put a tree in the background, and I changed my mind. This is the edging. I'm actually really proud of the edging because the first one's edging was I just really wanted to get into the piece, and I didn't concentrate on the edging. I did not finish all of the yellow little alternating between the red because I decided I didn't like how it looked, but then I didn't want to go take the others out. The background stitching is different here. These are diagonal squares of 4, and I go through and I did all the yellow, and then I went back and I did the blue. And I really like how it turned out. Here you can see I had put in the padding for the K and the knotwork at the bottom. This is what the diagonal blue and yellow look like together. I really like how that turned out. This is all done in cotton pearl. This is where I started detaching the detached lacework leaves. I really struggled with the shape, but ironically, I really like how it turned out. The different use of weights of threads. This is where I detach it and I have to pick all the little white bits out. But I really am happy how the leaves came out. So this is where I am attaching the synthetic white and gold trim over the K. I decided to use this braid. I had just enough left on that wooden bobbin to do the entire K. I wasn't sure if I was going to run out, but it worked really well, and I'm using a DMC gold thread to couch it down, so it just blends right in. You don't even notice the couching threads. I really liked using this material. It was fast, but it also just covered really well. So this is kind of a detail of how the gold letter looks with the trim couched over the top of it. I love the little bumps on the side. I really like how that gives texture to the K. This is the gold knotwork at the bottom. I had intended to do more gold knotwork, but I kind of ran out of oomph, if that makes any sense. This is kind of how it looks. This is how I'm preparing the edge of the fabric to go inside the frame. You can see the little stitches along the edge of the cross-stitch fabric. More edging detail. You can also see the detail of the background of this project. I'm really happy with the background. I know that you can see there's double up of threads some places, but I don't care. I was just tickled. These are the little yellow pieces that I didn't want to take out. You can see I was playing with color to see what I liked. Now this is how I ended up attaching this one to the board. So I edged everything with threads, and then I basically braided thread in the texture of the fabric around the corner of the mounting board, and then I tied them all on the back side and put a sticker on the back to adhese it. This is how the 3D image looks. This is the depth of it. I actually did a pretty good job of making sure it didn't stick up too high for the glass frame that I was going to put it in. You can see it sticks up pretty detailed. I'm really happy with this project. I could have done more knotwork, but I decided not to, and I'm glad I decided not to. And this is what it looks like inside the frame. Inside 3D framing is really tricky to film because the glass is so nice and shiny and reflects really well. But it'll all be protected. That's one of the reasons I'm using a 3D frame or like a, I think they're called like memento frames or diorama type frames, because I want the 3D embroidery to be protected. 3D embroidery will get dusty and it'll start to break down over time. And most things break down over time, but I really wanted these to be protected. Here's a completed picture of what happened. I really like the alternating colors because it really kind of gives it this movement feel in the picture. I probably could have done a darker background, but I really liked how this one looked. And this is just I turned all the big lights off and tried to do this with a different lighting scheme so you could see different things in the image. So thank you very much for watching my video on how I did these Stumpwork projects.